From 2017 to 2020, the Bulls were insanely hard to watch. Let's check out some highlights.
Less than a minute to go.
No.
Oh my goodness, Valentine!
No.
And
Watch this.
Jim Boylan
Felicio, look, what are you doing?
well, Jim Boylan's saying, well, you should have waited. You can't wait.
No, if you watch the Wizards players,
Now that we're done watching those insane highlights, let's move on and talk about the Bulls after the 2020 season. So, as a Bulls fan myself, it seemed like we were running out of hope. Like there wasn't much we could do. Though, out of the blue, our GM, Arturas Karnisovas, made some huge pickups, which extremely affected the team. And this was evident in the 2021-2022 season, but only during the first half of the season, before the All-Star break. And then after the All-Star break, things started to get rough. Let's pass it over to our special guest analyst, Carter Merrick, who will be evaluating whether the Bulls' ability to win was greater before the All-Star break compared to after, and if it was due to random chance or not.
For the two-way table, I have the explanatory variable labeled as the location and the response variable labeled as the outcome. Before the All-Star break, the Bulls had 38 wins and 21 losses. And after the All-Star break, they had 8 wins and 15 losses. Moving on to the bar chart. Before the All-Star break, the Bulls won 64.5% of their games, which is shown to us in the dark blue section labeled win. And then after this All-Star break, the Bulls won 53.3% of their games, which is also shown to us on the after part. Now to find the p-value. We plug in our 11.2% difference from before that we calculated, and we plug that into the graph, and we find all the dots that are greater than that 11.2%. And from that, we found that 2,478 dots are highlighted in this region, which is 24.8%. And that would be our p-value. Finally, the results of our simulation. All of our results vary from a low of negative 35% to a high of positive 35%, with the most around 0%.
Based on the simulation, we can conclude that there's no convincing evidence that Chicago Bulls had a greater ability to win games before the All-Star break compared to after the All-Star break. This being said, because 24.8% of the simulation occurred more than 11.2% of the time, and when looking to see if something's due to random chance or not, you want to see if it's lower than 5%. And with that being said, it's likely that it was due to random chance and not ability. Even though it can be concluded that it is likely due to random chance that the Bulls won more games before the All-Star break compared to after the All-Star break, there could be some possible explanations to why the alternative hypothesis for this statement could be true. So Carter, what do you think impacted the Bulls to where they played worse following the All-Star break?
Great question, huh? The Bulls are getting a lot of traction in the league and are not used to being one of the top teams in the league. Therefore, it can be concluded that the Bulls let the pressure of their success get to the best of them in the season following the All-Star break. Another reason could be due to Lonzo Ball suffering a season-ending injury just before the All-Star break. The Bulls had a great team chemistry, but this was only before when they were healthy.
Now I have a question for Gianna. As I stated earlier, the Bulls made some crucial trades before this season. What do you think could have impacted the change in ability for the Bulls before the All-Star break?
Many crucial trades in order to improve the team. They added point guard Lonzo Ball, a great defender, playmaker, and three-point shooter. They also added DeMar DeRozan, a veteran player with many All-Star game appearances and All-NBA appearances. Finally, they added guard Alex Caruso, who has a reputation for being a top defender in the league and also a fan favorite.
Before we wrap things up, Gianna, I have a question. Do you think there are any limitations which could affect our conclusion?
Conclusion applies to teams who went 38-21 before the All-Star break and 8-15 after the All-Star break. Since there are 59 games played before the All-Star break and only 23 after the All-Star break, it would give better insight to more accurate reasoning, so as if the Chicago Bulls actually had a greater ability to win before the All-Star break compared to after the All-Star break.